The pale light of dawn filtered through the curtains, casting long shadows across the unfamiliar room. It was a new beginning, but the weight of uncertainty hung heavily in the air. John and Mary were exhausted, their faces etched with worry and sleepless nights. The move had taken a toll on them, both physically and emotionally. They had moved their family to this old, rambling house just outside the city to be closer to the clinic where their son Liam was undergoing treatment. The decision had been difficult, but they hoped it would be worth it. The house, despite its size and faded grandeur, held a promise of peace, a sanctuary where they could focus all their energy on Liam's recovery. It was a place where they could find solace amidst the chaos. The house settled around them, its silence broken by creaking floorboards and the rustle of unseen things. Every creak and groan seemed to carry a story, a whisper of the past that lingered in the air. There was a heaviness in the air, a tangible sense of sorrow that seemed to emanate from the very walls. It was as if the house itself was mourning, its grief palpable and inescapable. At night, the darkness pulsed with an unseen energy, and John would lie awake, listening to the whispers that snaked through the corridors. These whispers were not just sounds. They were voices, carrying secrets and stories of a troubled past. Mary even couldn't ignore the coldness that clung to certain rooms, a chill that seemed to seep into her bones. The sudden drops in temperature that seemed to defy the laws of nature. It was as if the house had its own climate, one that was hostile and unwelcoming. One evening, while tidying Liam's room, she felt a breath on her neck, cold and fetid, and turned to find nothing. The sensation was so real, so immediate, that it left her shaken.
Mommy, the shadows. They dance at the edge of my vision. They move when I'm not looking directly at them. And voices, they call my name. They sound so close, like they're right next to me.
His words, spoken with a child's innocence, chilled John to the bone. The fear in his son's voice was unmistakable. Something was wrong with the house, something profoundly and terrifyingly wrong. It was as if the very essence of the house was corrupted, haunted by memories and spirits that refused to rest. The disturbances escalated, subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. What began as faint whispers and fleeting shadows soon turned into a cacophony of unexplained phenomena. Doors unlocked and opened with no explanation, objects moved inexplicably, and disembodied footsteps echoed through the empty halls. The once peaceful home had become a theatre of the bizarre and the terrifying. One night, John awoke to the sound of mournful cries coming from the attic. The cries were so sorrowful they seemed to pierce through the very fabric of the night. Grabbing a flashlight, his heart pounding in his chest, he crept up the creaking stairs, each step heavy with dread. The air grew colder with each step, as if he was ascending into another realm. The attic was dark and oppressive, filled with cobwebs and the musty scent of decay. It felt as though the walls themselves were closing in, suffocating him with an unseen presence.
What is that smell? It's like formaldehyde. It's so strong, it's making me dizzy.
As John's flashlight cut through the gloom, he saw it, a child's rocking chair, swaying gently as if pushed by an unseen hand. The sight sent chills down his spine. He froze, paralyzed by fear, as a wave of icy air washed over him, carrying with it the unmistakable scent of formaldehyde and decay. The air was thick with an oppressive energy that seemed to whisper dark secrets. Rushing back to Liam, he found his son sitting up in bed, his eyes wide with terror. The boy's face was pale, and his small body trembled with fear.
The shadows, Daddy! They're here! They're watching us!
John held Liam close, a cold sweat clinging to his skin. He whispered reassurances, but his own voice betrayed his fear. He knew then that they were not alone in the house. The feeling of being watched was overwhelming, and every creak and groan of the old house seemed to be amplified. They were sharing their home with something dark and malevolent. The shadows seemed to dance and flicker as if mocking their fear. The house had become a prison of terror, and there was no escape in sight. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay brave, stay haunted.